All right, let's see if all this stuff still works. So, I am hoping that my audio works. Sorry for the feedback. Audio. Good. The audio still works. All right, let's see who files in on this lovely Sunday afternoon. It's been a while since I've done a live stream, and I just got done filming. All my camera gear was set up, so I decided, why not? Hey! Hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah, hey from Austin. Man, guys, I won't lie, I'm a little jealous. It's been a little cold up here, so let's see. Internet can totally see to stop, use your recorder. For some reason, the live stream says the health is questionable. Check resolution, which is not optimal. Okay, whatever. If it looks fine for you guys, I'm just going to keep going. Anyways, yeah, it's been a while since I've been live streaming, and it's been really cold here in Colorado, and I'm very jealous of everyone down south who's getting ready for the prime of riding season. Carbon Horse, how's it going, man? Dad Bod Biker, welcome. MTB Mom, how's it going there? Hey, Outdoor Court, thanks that it's still working. I used to be a pro at this live stream stuff, but now I'm kind of like, is it gonna work? I don't know. Crashing Dad Shane, hey man, I have seen you riding down there in Arizona, and I'm jelly. I'm just a little bit jelly. Put me on some toast. So, how's everyone's weekend going? You guys do any riding? I haven't. I just got over a little bit of a head cold. Wasn't much, but knocked me on my butt a little bit. So I've been taking it easy, decided to stay inside and film some stuff like how to buy mountain bike components for cheap. I can't wait to get that video out for you, and I'm actually copying over the files right now as we speak, which it's just about 98 gigs. I talk a lot, apparently. International Fat Bike Day. I actually am hoping to get out on a fat bike this year. With some snow, that could be a lot of fun. So that's on the list. Rained all weekend in Austin. Yes, that is right. You guys have been really getting hammered with that pressure system. It kind of got pushed down south because of the pressure system up here in Colorado, so I apologize for that. It was nice and sunny, though, so hopefully you guys get out later this week, maybe next weekend. Cobra Kyle, hey man, I saw you ride with, sorry, words are hard. I saw you ride with BKXC down in Austin. That was awesome. It sounded like he had a really good time, despite the fact that a lot of people don't think about Austin as a very popular mountain biking area, but I'm hoping he might change people's opinion. That's right. Rocky Hill Ranch is kind of a blessed area for riding wet. Their terrain is just rocky enough. Yeah, the place that you guys went riding, Cobra Kyle, I've been on that place. It's no joke. So I felt your pain when you were going up that hill. How many people do we have? 18. Cool. Not bad for an impromptu live stream. Y'all have any questions for me? Like I said, it's been a while since I've live streamed. And also, what do you think of this setup? I have the live stream going through my new X-T3 from Fuji, and I have my shotgun microphone over here. So trying to give that a try instead of having this weird microphone face cover thing going. That sucks, Dad Bod Biker. It always sucks when you have a plan and it doesn't pan out. Almost fell in a creek. Ah, that sucks. Glad you were able to pull it out though, because I've misjudged crossing a river, and I got very wet, and then I also had to take my bike apart and let it dry because it was a steel frame. Water got in the bottom bracket and the down tube. It was a mess. By the way, I'm drinking a Colorado lager, and look at that autofocus. Oh, I love this new camera. Sorry, I'm going to geek out for a second on autofocus. I could never do that with my Panasonic. The autofocus sucked. That new box components 11-speed drivetrain for under $300. Thoughts? Okay, that's actually a good question. So the Sunrace cassette and the box cassette are the same thing. This isn't a dig on box because they've been focusing on making the derailleur and shifter combo. It's perfectly rational for them to outsource that and basically just rebrand Sunrace. So the cassette is nice. It's not going to be like an XT level cassette or even a SRAM Eagle, so the shifting won't be as crisp. I think it's good. I think it's good to have competition. You might be able to get something for cheaper, but if you feel like experimenting, I think there are worse combinations you could go with. When are you coming back to ride in Austin? I'm hoping to get out there this winter, maybe like early next year. At the very least by myself, but I'm hoping to like... Austin's starting to get a lot of interest lately, so I'm hoping to go out there and help someone film something. It's just talking right now, nothing absolutely concrete. Hit that thumbs up button. Definitely, Shane. Thanks, man. Dad MTB, that's awesome, man. Hopefully I keep doing that because I'm trying to kind of get back to just making cool content that I want to watch, focusing less on, you know, making the algorithm happy and just making cool stuff that I am proud of and that people really get behind. So thanks, man. Cheers. Mountain Bike Geek, how's it going, man? How's it going down in Australia? It seems like you guys are starting to get baked because of the heat. For the love of fat bikes, please. Fat biking in Austin. So a lot of people kept asking me, like, if I could have any bike, what bike would I have? And I've kind of changed the answer a few times, but one of them would be, you know, like a custom steel frame hardtail. But more realistically, Salsa has a bike called the Bucksaw, which is a full suspension fat bike. It is the most inefficient bike in the world, but you will giggle your way through rock gardens because it's just a monster truck. It's ridiculous. I totally want one, just for the lulz, as they say. Any thoughts on Spider Mountain? I am beyond stoked. I know there's a lot of people confused that they're putting in a lift when like a shuttle would have worked, and you know it's only what, like 300-400 feet of elevation. A lot of people say you can climb up. I don't think that's the point. I think like when you go downhill, like if I go to a downhill park here in Colorado, half the fun is not having to climb up. So I still say that a shuttle wouldn't have been the worst thing. I know that Jeremiah on Team Trail Party told me why they got a lift, and I don't remember why. Anyways, the point is I'm really stoked for that, and that's one of the reasons why I want to get out there this winter. So I'm excited. It's just cool that Texas is getting a downhill park. Cool. Wearing a jacket for most of yesterday. Oh, wow. It's pretty crazy. Enjoy the videos. Thanks, man. I'm glad you enjoy the videos. Full sus fat bikes are clouds. Yes. Yes, that's half the fun, man. It's just everything. It's the opposite of a hardtail. It's just for fun. No other reason. Going to Arizona for 4 days for my college band, and I wish I could ride there so bad, but at least I'm going hiking. Hey, man, that's a good way to look at it. You know, there's more to the outdoors than mountain biking. I enjoy hiking, camping. Used to be big into rock climbing. Terrified of heights, so I was more of a boulderer. Never really liked getting more than 10 feet off the ground. Funny story. I raced there and the climbing sucked. KT was the hardest part. Really, Arizona, the climbing wasn't that great? I guess I could see that. I mean, like I said, I was more of a boulderer, so like as long as we found like a pretty decent boulder to play around on, it'd be cool. Full Spence Plus bikes are clouds. Yeah, actually, switching from the SB5 Plus to a full suspension 29er, especially the LTS on the GT, is surprisingly plush, but the bike itself is very stiff. GT did that on purpose, but it's like, it's a weird combination. I'm going to talk more about it in a video soon, hopefully. but it's kind of cool that it's a fun bike. It's been impressing me. When am I coming out to SoCal? I want to get out there with Savant and Biker eventually. I don't know, maybe this summer. I just actually started a new job with a tech company. So that's kind of why I've been down and out, because I was finishing up stuff at my old company, which is a long story, and then starting with the new company. As much as I would love to devote as many hours as I could to YouTube, unfortunately YouTube does not pay the bills, so I gotta pay for all this stuff somehow. But the new job is great though, so hopefully once I get settled in the new job I can travel a little bit more this summer, because the PTO plan's pretty awesome. Have you seen the Salsa Blackborough? It's interesting. Salsa Blackborough. Let's Google that real quick. I have not. Is it... Oh, wait. Is that like their full suspension 29 plus? If so, then yes, I've seen it. Oh, no. Wow. It's a... Okay, so this is interesting. It is a... hold up. I'm going to share out my screen real quick because this is pretty cool. It is a plus-size cargo bike. Make sure I drop. All right, cool. I jumped back to the right one. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I think that's really fun. I love Salsa. Just for the fact they like to experiment. That's always a big thing for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree, man. That bike looks sick. Yeah, John, you just started a new job too, so you know what I'm talking about. Where you can swap 29 or 27 and 26er. Man, that's pretty awesome. What are your thoughts on the more modular bikes like the Surly Lowside? I think that is above my pay grade to talk about, but I always appreciate bikes that give you flexibility. I mean, I know a lot of people say you compromise on the characteristics, how it rides. For me, though, I don't like unitaskers, basically something that's only good at one thing. So anything that allows me to get multiple uses out of it is pretty awesome. Oh, I broke the audio. Oh yeah, sorry. I have this set up for a completely different thing. That was awkward. Sorry, guys. See, this is what happens when you just decide to fire up a live stream apropos of nothing. Anyways, I was saying that the bike was pretty cool. I really liked it. I thought it looked sick, and I was interested in what your opinions were. Yes, I actually wonder if like it needs multiple chains, because that's ridiculous. I mean, I pull up, what is the geo chart on that again? Like, geometry. What is the chainstay length? Oh, the chainstay length is so hilarious. 650 millimeters. Must be super stable going downhill, though. What's the head degree? Head tube angle is 69 degrees. That's actually pretty impressive for a bike packing bike. That thing must weigh a ton, though. It's not a small bike. I thought the bike left him speechless. I was just sitting there like... No, it was good. Oh, man. So let's see. What else? Yeah, really excited about the new video that I'm making. I'm kind of, as you guys have noticed, kind of trying to get a little bit more simple. I've actually started selling off a lot of my excess camera gear that I wasn't using. Felt weird having just a ridiculous amount of stuff. Probably going to sell off some of my old action cams that are sitting over there. That only happens uphill. No, if anything, I whine a lot more when I'm going uphill. I don't get silent. That's when you hear me talk the most. Let's see what else is new. Getting used to the fact that it's winter now. That's a new thing for me. I'm definitely spoiled by Austin. The fact that the riding season is starting up for the South right now, it was a tough adjustment when the temperature started dropping below 40. Still speechless, silent on the Hill of Life. I mean, the Hill of Life, man, that thing will beat the crap out of anyone. I mean, you got step-ups like this. Trying to climb up that is ridiculous. Let's see. If you haven't ridden the Hill of Life, definitely go check it out. I'd always recommend hiking it first, so that way you can kind of figure out the lines. It's a good hike too. It's a lovely area, but I wouldn't recommend diving down it blind unless you have someone leading you down who you trust. Because I think the biggest problem with the Hill of Life is it's a really popular hiking path to begin with, so you got to be careful. And then because so many people are on it, the rocks are like always moving around, and the rocks are like this big. So if you go down it 1 week and you session it a few times, you think that like, okay, I got this, and you go down it the next week, suddenly there's a rock like 4 feet to the left that wasn't there last week. So it keeps you on your toes. Then the area itself is really fun. Ed's Bowl, Dump Truck, a few of the places that I featured in my video. And then if you just go down and pedal down the green path, it's really nice. It kind of turns into cross country. And then it goes back to trying to punch you in the gut with giant rock gardens. Brian only dabbed twice on the climb. That is impressive. And I think that I made a challenge to him at one point that if he could make it up the Hill of Life without, dabbing, I would buy him like the biggest chicken McNugget meal ever. So I guess that challenge still stands. Maybe he'll get it next year. War Within MTB trail features. I am looking for a spare GoPro session. I unfortunately only have one, believe it or not. That's like the only one that I don't have duplicates of, because that thing is a tank. Unfortunately, I think the only way to really get them nowadays is off eBay, because like Dick's Sporting Goods cleared them out on like some mega sale for like it was like $80 or something ridiculous like that. But of course all the scalpers found out about it first, so they just bought them in bulk. So that was the only real good opportunity to buy multiple of them. So either you have people that aren't going to get rid of them or are selling them for more than they're worth. Let's see what the current market is on that, because now I'm curious. You got me thinking about it. I will tell you this. If you are looking for a great place to buy used GoPros, well, not used. Let me explain. REI, if you ever shop there, they have what's called the REI garage sale. Or basically, when people return stuff, if it's something that they don't send back to the manufacturer, they more or less have like a giant yard sale, where if you're a member, you can get in there. And there's actually a lot of GoPros that usually get returned because people changed their minds, so they made up an excuse, or they were using the wrong SD cards, because GoPros are pretty picky on that, or, they just didn't know how to use it. I don't want to sound mean, but like, some people buy it for family members that aren't very technically inclined. So anyways, a lot of those things get returned. So if you go in there with a USB battery, the app installed on your phone, and then like a spare SD card, in a little carrying case so you don't lose it because those things are tiny. Find the pile of GoPros, grab one that said like it was having an SD card error or wouldn't sync with phone. Grab that, go find a spot, sit down, plug it into the USB battery to fire it up, push in the SD card, try to link it to your phone. And if you've never done that before, try to find a buddy who has a GoPro so you can practice. And then just check everything. Make sure it records, make sure it syncs to the phone, make sure it's holding a charge. And then usually you find out that you can get a GoPro for like half off because someone didn't really like it or know how to use it. So that's how I got a lot of my GoPros. There you go. Shop GoPro. Yeah, refurbished GoPros are another great place. Canadian MTB, welcome. Craig, how you doing? REI here in Phoenix just had theirs and I missed it. War Within, yeah. The one right down the road for me actually had one a couple weekends ago, but I ended up not going. Oh, that's right, because we were getting our countertops refinished. So that kind of sucked. There you go. Cobra helped you out. Pizza grease. Nice. What kind of pizza you eating there, Good Trails? Good Trails and good pizza. So let's see. GoPro session. See what's available. What's available new? I love shopping deals on eBay. That's kind of why I'm doing this video on buying components for cheap. Man, people are really scalping these. $250 for a Hero 5 session, all banged up? No, I'm sorry. People's kids, man. Yeah, no, actually, go refurbished or see if you can't find one used from a buddy. That would be my way of getting a session. So, the other place that I would look, where's a good place? Oh, B&H. If you've never heard of it before, it's a great camera shop, B&H, and GoPro Hero 4 Blacks have often gone for sale for like $80 there. I know it's not a session, but for $80, can you really argue that much? Canadian MTB, that sucks. I know how that goes. Nate Palmer, how's it going? And yes, B&H is awesome. Don't sell Camelback anymore. Really? REI does not sell Camelback anymore. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because, like, I actually think Camelback is sometimes a little expensive. Like the Platypus. Is it Platypus? There's other hydration companies out there that are just as good, maybe better, depending on what you need. But I don't know. Camelback used to be the thing in town, but I don't. Sometimes I just kind of buy whatever reservoir is cheap and on sale, as long as it doesn't give me cancer. Mountain bike advice. Woo! Oh yeah, that's right. I set that up. I forgot I did that. I'm glad that still works. Mountain bike advice. Cheer kids, can't stay. Keep up the great content. Dude, thank you so much. Oh, Savage Firearms. Okay. All right. I see what you're saying, Carbon Horse. Yeah, hip packs are also really popular. I know No Front Brakes use them. Yeah, that's so cool. I forgot I had that set up, and I'm glad it worked. It was wicked loud, though. I had my speakers turned up, and it decided to play through. Yes, mountain bike advice is good people. I really liked his political ad. I thought it was really funny for the midterms. That was good times. Frame bags. I actually might be getting back into commuting. My new job is actually in downtown Denver. And so they're giving me like a train pass. So you're going to be seeing more of the Salsa Via come out. One, because a lot of the high alpine stuff is closed for the winter. so I'm just going to be doing gravel routes. Also, I like all bikes. If it has two wheels, I'll ride it, and gravel bikes is one of my favorite. But since I'm going to be commuting on that, I figured I'd fix it up and get it back into prime condition. So I have a bunch of stuff they need to put on there. Good to know, Nate. Salsify all day. I love that bike. Yeah. I thought about replacing it with the newer Salsa, but I just love that color. Speaking of colors, so let me grab this real quick. So y'all know about the Cro-Mag. Not all of you may have heard the story, but a while back, let's see if I can get it right in frame. A while back, this happened. And, shoot, I can't see. Hang on. Hold up. Wait a second. Let me get some focus in it. There we go. Yeah, the Cro-Mag's dead, unfortunately. Focus, you fack. There we go. This happened by accident. And it actually wasn't me who was riding it. But I was watching when it happened, and it wasn't that the person was goofing off. It was just a freak accident where the wheel just slid out from under them. I had a really crappy plus-size tire that I really hadn't vetted, and I let them ride it, and bad things happened. Anyways, so this frame is now officially dead. Well, not officially dead. I mean, it is a steel frame, so if I really wanted to, I could either find someone to bang it out or just cut out the broken bit and weld in a new part and get it all painted. I'll figure out what to do with it. Anyways, I talked to Cro-Mag, and Cro-Mag was like, well, that sucks that you had it for like 9 months and now it's dead. So they offered to give me a new one for half off. And it just so happened that they had the new 2019 models coming out. So I'm going to be building out a ridiculously dialed hardtail. One, because I love hardtails. Two, because I have a lot of like high-end parts that I originally bought for the Yeti, and I would feel really weird putting it on the GT when the whole premise of the GT is like, you know, budget, this is all you need. So it'd feel really stupid putting like an MRP ribbon and Magura brakes on that. But what I want to do is build up the hardtail as like the primo bike, and then do like a side-to-side comparison of a mid-tier full suspension bike versus a high-end hardtail, and kind of answer the question of like, which should you do? Should you spend all your money on a good hardtail, or should you get like an affordable full suspension bike? And I'm going to see if I can get a few people to ride the bike so it's not just my opinion. I'm hoping to get like Dakota, MTB Tagalong. If you haven't seen him, he is an absolute ripper. I'm going to see if I can't get him out there. JF Rides, RC, Shane, get all these guys on the bikes and get their impression, because fortunately most of the guys that I know are about my size or can get on a large bike. So I think that'll be cool. I want to cherry that bike. Nice. Let me catch up with the chat. Sorry, I realized I was talking and you guys were talking to me. I wasn't talking back, and that's rude. Salsify all day. You should use a downhill bike for commuting. Yes, that is an absolute stellar idea. I am going to look into that. Teal Steel has become my commuter to work. Teal Steel is awesome. Good old Cro-Mag. How's your back? The back! Yes, so my back is doing a lot better, and I appreciate all your well wishes and all the input and feedback I've gotten. I was super humbled and impressed by the feedback that I got from that video. I was just kind of putting it out there as a, hey, I'm not being lazy. I just can't really make videos right now because I'm sad and depressed. So it was very heartwarming to have such a strong outreach. I have been a little lazy on my PT lately. My back has been doing a lot better, but I still do really want to work on my core strength and mobility. I have been trying to work on some yoga poses to stretch everything out, because that's really what's causing me to get re-injured, is I'm so stiff that if like I bend over, kind of doesn't do good things. So yes, back is doing good. Tis a scratch. Yeah, it was just a scratch. We thought it was just a scratch until we looked at it closer. Zip ties, nice. Do I think a bash guard is needed in Florida? I think a bash guard isn't useless, because it's like a seatbelt, right? You know, the goal is never to use it, but if it happens, it's nice to have. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't add a lot of weight. If you have the mounts anyways, I say go for it. If people give you crap about it, they need to find a better use of their time than to talk about who has a bash guard. Like, oh, you need a bash guard. Brotherhood of the Traveling Hardtail. Oh yeah, the Diamondback. I actually found out that Jordan Boostmaster has that, and then that Jordan's going to be the last person to get that. I was a little bit bummed to hear about that, but I also didn't expect Diamondback to let that thing wander around for the next 2 years. There's just way too many YouTubers out there. I would have liked to see it to come out to Colorado, so that way a bunch of us could have ridden it. But I don't think Diamondback was really willing to let that many people have their way with it. But would you sell the broken frame? I mean, I would sell it. Actually, no. I don't think I would sell this because it's sentimental to me. Like, it was a really nice hardtail that I decided to build up, and it's kind of part of the channel, so I think I'm just gonna like frame it on the wall. I might look at getting it fixed. I do know some bike builders here that like weld up their own steel full suspension bikes, so I might turn that into maybe a side project, talk to him and figure out how much it would be. Not for rocks, maybe for logs. You'll probably be okay without one. Have rode 10 years without a bash guard and ride all over North America. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where like I use a bash guard because I have poor form. So it's a little bit of reinforcing bad behavior. Although I did also kind of cry whenever I had hit my Yeti on something. So I don't know. I don't think that you're gonna really be wrong if you put a bash guard on there. If you think you need one, put it on there, especially if you find a good deal on one. But you may not need it too. Finally saw a chiropractor for my back and it was amazing. Still hurts a year later, but it's getting better. Nate Palmer, good to know. I have thought about a chiropractor. I don't know. Everything's good right now, so I'm afraid to touch it. It's kind of one of those leave well enough alone. Shane, I believe you use your bash guard all the time. Kind of need them here in South Mountain in Phoenix. Yeah, I can believe so. Hey, Matt, how's it going, man? Thanks. Welcome to the impromptu random live stream. The Cro-Mag would be nice atop the Christmas tree. I don't think Kristen would be in for that. I don't think she'd be in for that. That might be a little bit of a stretch. I did see Bobo's latest video and steady spin. Yeah, that was a rough one. You could see some stuff. Props to that guy for staying so cool and collected. I know that they were riding with a lot of veterans, so I guess for them it was just a Tuesday because those guys have been around the block. So that was pretty intense to see. Never like to see someone get injured. So glad they were in good spirits though. Hope that there was nothing permanent and just some stitches and a couple beers, maybe a week of rest. Can't get that image out of my head. I actually used to work in the vet fields, like veterinarian, way back in the day, so I've seen some stuff myself. That didn't really faze me. Not trying to gloat, just saying it is gross if you don't really see it very often, but I've seen some really nasty stuff. Lots to see there. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff on display when that guy lifted up his chamois. Hopefully he didn't feel it too much. By the time he got to the doctor, they probably pumped him full of drugs, and he's doing good. Speaking of injuries, so how many of y'all have had kind of similar experience to me? I know we've already talked about this, but I still find it interesting that, like, you know, in mountain biking, we know that crashing is kind of an inevitability. It's never a question of if, but when and how hard. But you know, when you crash, how much does it affect you? I mean, I know it's depending on the injury, but are you one of those people that, like, that's kind of your sign where you're like, whoa, I'm going to take it easy? Or are you kind of the get back up and just go even harder because it motivates you to do that much better? Assuming, like, you know, things aren't dangling in ways that they shouldn't. Fat bikes don't go down. I guess that if you're going fast enough to really wreck on a fat bike, you have bigger problems, because that probably means that, like, your brake line froze or something. Fractured my elbow last October, now running partial cyborg with a metal elbow. A year later, I still get tense on sandy sections. Yeah, that's the thing, right? I've always crashed. My biggest problems have always been, like, big drops. Because if your front tire catches, it throws you over. And sandy sections are another thing. I don't like the sensation of my bike sliding out from under me. I might need to work on, you know, my form and power sliding, but I can totally appreciate that. Since starting mountain biking, I've been in a perpetual state of injury. I hear that. I hear it. You know, even if it's a small injury, it still sticks with you. You recover. And then you go out the next weekend and you pull something or bump something. Try to keep going if possible, but if my confidence is usually shattered. Yeah, which sometimes if your confidence is shaken, it's up to you to decide. But personally, I think that at that point, just follow the ride to survive. If there's no injury or pain, it gets me stoked. I can see that. I've ridden with some buddies who, like, they slide out, they have a little bit of blood, maybe something's a little crooked, they just pop back in place, and they're like, all right, did you get that on film? I'm going back for another one. Did you not see still? Yes, I saw Matt, Phil on the fat bike. I was talking with him before he did that. I was telling him, don't convince Seth to do anything silly. I'm glad that Phil took one for the team, and that when he went down, it was just in good jest. Hurting yourself more building than riding. You talking building trails or building bikes? Building bikes I can relate to. I bash my fingers on everything, like trying to take pedals off. Building trails, I can see that too. You know, make sure you lift with your groin, and, you know, you really arch that back to engage the muscles. You know, Walnut Creek doesn't seem intimidating to the casual observer, but there's some legitimate stuff on there. Also, you might get into a false sense of security, like I did when I rode Walnut Creek a lot. Like, I knew those trails like the back of my hand, and whenever I crashed there, it was something dumb, like a rock popped my wheel to the side, and I just... Ah! Exactly, you let your guard down. More trails, more just soreness and stiff, but still sucks. Yeah, unfortunately, Matt, that's also just getting older. I don't know how old you are, but I'm under the impression that you're close to my age in some regard. Because I believe... What do you do for work again? I think I know what it is, but I don't want to say anything to sound stupid. Because I would feel bad if I didn't know after all these years. Bikes and trails. I usually crash hard. Last one was July, where I fractured my wrist. It does do something to your confidence, and the downtime takes some time to get back. Yeah. When I went down at the Hill of Life, the hardest part was actually getting back in my mental state. Like, when I did the Hill of Life with Brian, I think that was like over a year later, maybe, from that Hill of Life video that I made where I crashed wicked hard. I won't lie, like, I was super nervous to crash because that injury sucked. I'm still amazed I didn't break a leg, like, literally. Had a lot of fun at Walnut Creek. Joe got freaked out at riding my bike. It's always weird riding someone else's. Upper and lower, though, that one little stump gets me every time. 36, yeah. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Upper and lower logs. Yeah, Like I said, Walnut Creek can be a super chill ride, or it can be super intense. Endo Valley. There was a few times where I went into Endo Valley thinking that I had it, and like I didn't pop the wheel up as much as I thought, and I swore I was gonna flip end over end. Backwards brakes. Yes, that is right. You guys have your brakes reversed, and I was convinced I was gonna endo because we were at the BMX jump park. And I'm like going on his bike trying to like jump, and I basically had to tell myself, don't grab the brakes. Dude, Brushy isn't a bad ride. I'll tell you one thing, and I think that I would probably get flamed for this anywhere else. Fortunately, most of you guys are Austin subscribers or have been following me long enough that you know Austin can be pretty legit. Being here in Colorado, I love being able to go on these all-day epics with gorgeous views, with amazing trails. It is awesome. It's a whole different breed of riding, and I need to readjust. But for the day-to-day stuff, one thing I really miss about Austin is the fact that you can go to Brushy Creek, South Slaughter, Brushy, Walnut Creek, Brushy, South Slaughter, or any of the other good places to ride around Austin, and like everything's so tightly networked together that if you only have like 1 or 2 hours before sunset, you can go and just hammer through and get a really awesome, intense ride, and then go home, and you know, it was maybe like 30-40 minutes of driving total. Here in Colorado, you have to drive like 30 miles to get to the mountains, climb up a massive hill, and then bomb down a long section. And don't get me wrong, bombing down this stuff is awesome, but it's that major climb, and 30 miles is an exaggeration, but like more like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then you have a massive climb. I miss the fact that like Austin had like really punchy climbs and then really technical descents, and so you never got bored. It was a lot more pedally, and I think it's just my style. I like more technical riding. I know a lot of people are probably going to look at me like I'm crazy, like, dude, you live in Colorado and you're complaining? Unsubscribe. But yeah, I mean, it's an all-day investment, which is great if you have time, but after work, I'm sure there's trails that I just don't know about yet, and maybe a year later I'll be looking back and say, dude, shut up. No, you're in Colorado. Just go explore. But right now, I do kind of miss Austin for the fact you can just go and choose your own adventure and do it real quick. My hair is a little crazy. All right, whatever. Kenny, how's it going, man? I used to ride unicycles a lot, and I learned how to bail really well from it. Ryan, I don't know if this was you, but did you ride unicycles a lot in Austin on the Greenbelt? Because there was a guy that I kept seeing every now and then who rode a mountain bike unicycle. Every time I thought that I was hot stuff, I would see this guy and just be immediately humbled. Every time. He put me in my place. Peace out. Got a pack for Texas. War within. Have fun in Texas, and hopefully you get some warm weather. Yeah, so you know who I'm talking about, right? It was this guy, super cool guy. I stopped to talk to him a few times. Okay, Ryan, you live in Florida. All right. But no, there was a dude in Austin that rode a mountain bike unicycle. And I have a clip of him somewhere where like I'm riding and I see him for the first time, and like I was so zonked because I was just trying to focus on this line that when I realized he was on a unicycle, just like my brain just broke because he was just effortlessly going through this stuff that I was huffing and puffing. So, Nimbus unicycle. Kenny, good night. Saw him at Brushy Creek. Nice, good to see. We have a unicycle guy in Chicago too. There's always that one guy, like I said. There's always that one guy that just like levels the playing field, keeps everyone in check. Some guy rode the drop-in on Mulligan on a unicycle. Are you serious? And Scott, 1551. Thank you, man. Hopefully you didn't give me, 1551 because that was literally all you had. I would like you to, not stretch your means, but thank you. And the thing still works. Cool, it still works. I'm so happy to see that. And so, Scott, thank you. Unicycle guy needs to get out to RPR. Big one or small one? Mulligan. Oh, yeah, the big one or the small one, because the big one is the one closer to the right. If you're standing on the sidewall looking up, the one on the right is like that nasty one with like rocky ledges and drops. The one on the left is pretty smooth. Either way, that's impressive. I died on a double once. The first time I took Mulligan, and for those that don't know, in Brushy Creek in Austin, there's this little like black diamond, I think. I don't think it's a double diamond, but it's a black diamond, where it's just this little small warm-up section that's like super technical and intense. It basically gets you ready for what was called Deception, which is a whole nother story. But there was 2 drops to exit out of Mulligan, and the first one you hit was no joke. Like, if you weren't used to taking big rolling drop-ins, it was intimidating. The first time I took it, I literally don't remember what happened. I just remember finally rolling up and committing, and the next thing I know, I'm at the bottom and I'm going way too fast, and I hit the brakes. Because it's like you come over this really rooted rocky ledge, and then there's like this really chunky drop with kind of a lip. So if you really aren't committed and leaning back over the bike, you can endo. And there's a video online if some guy took like a cheap Walmart commuter down that thing and just ate it so hard. And like I hurt because I don't like watching people crash, but at the same time, what did you expect? Yeah, Rowdy, that is one of my favorite trails. I miss Brushy Creek, especially Mulligan. That was a fun warm-up. Cobra, thanks for hanging out, man. I should probably be wrapping up soon myself. It's getting a little late. But can you ride a hardtail on it? Yeah, I mean, I took the Chromag. The Chromag's pretty intense bike in itself, but I think the first time I took that was actually on a Kona Process 111 29er. Yeah, because there was a Kona demo day that time. I was out there with Kristen, and we were taking Mulligan. She was walking some of the features, but it was just a quick way for us to check out the bikes in a really rowdy area. And I don't know what it was. The Kona Process 111 was just making me feel super confident, so I decided to take it down the Mulligan drop. And so Kona Process is pretty legit. All right, guys, it is starting to get a little late. So we've had steadily 40 people hanging out, though, so I appreciate that. What kind of questions do you guys have for me? Any content that you're interested in seeing coming out? I know I'm kind of bad about saying I'm going to make a video, film it, and then put it in the to-do pile. So if there's something that I talked about in the past that you really want to see, let me know, and I'll kind of bump it up on the list and try to get it out. If not, let me know what else you want to see. Of course, everyone's interested in the GT. That's a given. That's probably going to be the next video after this budget bike park ones. New hard hashtag new hardtail. Dude, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to getting the new one though. I think that's going to be a fun build. John says, I will say, I still laugh about how you got a new sense of how well Aussies handle the heat. Yes, dude. Screw you, man. It was hot that day. Can someone mountain bike with a bike that has 9mm quick through axles? Or is that too entry level? I don't think that is. I think the short answer is yes. I mean, that was what I started mountain biking on in Austin when I got back into it, and it was pretty good. But I'm definitely going to keep that in mind. You know, I do want to try to continue the theme of budget. I just want to focus on the GT for a while before I get a hardtail. I don't have room for another bike, and I don't think Kristen has patience for another bike. About 350 for the cause. Chas. I think that's right. But thank you for the 350. You Loch-Ness monster. My nephew runs 9mm quick release axles. Yeah, I mean, there's more flex, but I think it's more down to the bike and the wheel build than the actual axle. It's more about stiffness than actual, like, what it can take. View some chamois butter. I need to know which one is the best with strawberry jam. You, my friend, have some very odd hobbies, though I almost promise you there's some corner of the internet that has already covered that, so I will let them have that little gem of knowledge. Buy all the bikes. I tried and I ran out of money. I actually do have like a little sample of bottom butter. Bum butter that I have occasionally used this. It does help, actually. So there you go. Reactive trail features. When are we going to ride again? Call me and let's work out destroying that GT. We definitely do need to ride again, man. I haven't been avoiding you. I have been busy with the new job, getting over a cold, which I'm sure this beer is going to help, and then just trying to get caught up on a bunch of stuff around the apartment. We will, especially if we get some more nice weather. My RSS 29er is quick release front and rear. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely nothing wrong with quick release. It's not going to be as stiff, and quite honestly, I found that if you buy like the like for my Salsa, I got a 10mm axle to put in the front, because I think it's 5 in the rear. Anyways, I got some DT Swiss axles. I'll go more into it when I actually do a bike check on it. But there are options to swap out the quick release for a slightly thicker axle without having to convert anything. And believe it or not, it actually really does help. That was the first time I actually acknowledged that thicker axles do make a difference. But it was on the Salsa Via, so it was definitely exaggerated. How's the new job? The job is awesome, man. Next time we catch up, I'll tell you all about it. And Carbon Horse is very correct. No double dipping. No one likes a double dipper. You should Brushy Creek, Walnut, and what other places I need to check out? Okay, so the places that are on my short list for Austin. You always need to ride the Greenbelts. Because it's such an iconic part of Austin, and you can get anywhere in Austin on the Greenbelt. It just depends on how much you want to hike a bike and how determined you are. So the Greenbelts, which you can get through from, what's the pool? You can get to it off of Ladybird Lake Trail, Zilker Park, I think, area around there. hit the Greenbelt. You can see it on Trail Forks. Anyways, the South Slaughter Trails down south near, shoot, what was that crossroad? Towards the south end of I-35, where the Greenbelt kind of snakes down. There's some really awesome south trails there. They're not as intense, but it's a really chill place to just go and pedal. Walnut Creek Park, Brushy, is those are two really awesome ones kind of up north. Down south to the west, you definitely have to check out Flat Creek Crossing. That's where they have a lot of bike events. Team Trail Party and Free Ride 512 have been building up that area more and more every year for events. It's getting seriously awesome out there. And then Eric really loves, there's one place up north. I think it's Revel. No Front Brakes has like a favorite place that's more up north. I never really drove up that far because it was really fun. It was a really far drive. Revel Peak Ranch, Lake Georgetown. Yes, that's the one. Yeah, Brushy, Walnut, South Slaughter, Copperfield, Rocky Hill Ranch, Revel Peak, Flat Creek. Yeah, so that's basically go on those, and you're going to have an awesome time. There's so many trails, and people are still building it up. All right, everyone. I think it is about that time. Thank you so much for everyone who gave super chats. I was not expecting that. This was just kind of a fun testing it out. I'm going to try to be a year one at Spider Mountain. Nice. Definitely. Spider Mountain obviously gets included. Opens in 2 weeks. They're opening it in 2 weeks. Dang, I thought that was going to be like more in the new year. So that's really cool. Yeah. All right. Spider Mountain on the short list of things to ride this year. So anyways, thanks everyone for the donations. I really appreciate it. It helps fuel this channel. I am really looking forward to making some new content for you. I also have some announcements to come out. I didn't want to talk about it tonight because I still have to plan some things out. It's going to be an interesting shift. You guys will figure out more about it. It's all good stuff, but I just want to take some of the channel that is a little bit of a hint, but I want to take things in a little bit of a different direction and focus on two different areas without, getting too distracted. So anyways, look out for new content. Thank you everyone for hanging out. I hope you have a fantastic week. Please be safe. If you're injured, please be well and heal up fast. And until next time, get out there and find your next adventure. Have a good night, everyone.